Hi friends, in today's video, I will explain you how to check your own essay according to the 4 criteria given by British Council for IELTS Writing Task 2. This is one of the 2-part direct question essay written by one of my student. I will check this and let you know that what should be the procedure after you write your essay, how to correct your mistakes. Now, more and more people are moving away from an agricultural background to relocate to cities in order to look for work. Now, let's have in mind the meaning of this question, that many people are moving away from agriculture background to relocate to cities in order to look for work. Means they want to work for higher paying jobs instead of doing farming or agriculture. What will be the consequences of this? Means what will be the result of this? What solutions can you offer? So let's come to introduction first. Nowadays, it is common that most of the people from villages are migrating to cities for job purpose. Now, for job purpose. For itself refers to purpose. So you may say for jobs. For jobs, as they feel cities are better than village when it comes to income. Now, if I briefly say what you want to tell here, what you want to tell the reader is that people are moving to cities for jobs because it has better earning prospects. It looks good. Instead of using this such a longer sentence, you may say, nowadays it is common that most of the people from village are migrating to cities for jobs in order to earn more money, or since cities have better job prospects. Okay? As a result of this change, now this is understood that this will be the result of this change only. As a result, there are plethora of effects that arises. Problem arises, effect just takes place, it does not arises. Plethora of problems that arise, because this is a plural, so problems that arise, the verb will be singular, which includes decline in agriculture productivity. When you say plethora of problems, then at least mention the other problem also here, which you say that the culture and traditions which are followed in villages from ancient period will die. So you have to mention both the reasons here, which you are going to discuss in your body paragraph 1. The government has to take immediate steps to overcome these issues. Now, what are those steps? Mention those steps in brief in the thesis statement only. Now, this is the paraphrasing part and this is thesis. Now, thesis statement includes the answer to both the questions which are asked in your writing task 2. Now, firstly, due to the relocation of people from rural to urban areas, the agriculture productivity is getting affected. As most of the people related to agriculture feel that they have better career progression in jobs. Career progression in jobs. They have better career progression. It already means in jobs only, in cities than farming. Subsequently, the heads for cultivation is drastically reducing, which is directly affecting the productivity and profitability of agriculture. Therefore, the people in village cannot sustain. Now, let me tell you one thing. Your topic sentence is due to the relocation of people from rural to urban areas. Okay, this is the point which we are discussing. So what happens? The agriculture productivity is getting affected. This is your topic sentence. How you are explaining it? As most of the people feel that they have better career progression in cities than farming. Therefore, the people for cultivation is reducing, which directly affects the productivity and profitability of agriculture. This is our main point. This is what you want to discuss. Now you stray away from topic when you say, therefore the people in village cannot sustain. We are not here, we are talking about productivity and profitability of agriculture. Agriculture sustains the whole country, not only the village. So here you strayed away from the topic when you say people in village cannot sustain. So here the explanation of topic sentence is incorrect, which will affect the band score in task response. What it should be, as most of the people related to agriculture feel that they have better career progression in cities, due to which heads for cultivation is reducing, which directly affects productivity and profitability of agriculture. So you can join them into one and keep it as a single topic. Do not stray away in the next sentence. Secondly, the cultures and traditions which are followed in villages from ancient period will die, since the people migrated from village will try to adapt to urban culture. This point is fine because it does not needs too much detail, but you have to mention this point in brief in the thesis statement also. Now coming to third body paragraph, the best solutions that I can suggest to overcome, better you can just skip this part of being on the personal side. You can say the best solutions to overcome these problems are through the government and their policies. First of all, government has to increase the price of cultivated products in market, as it will solve the financial problems of the farmers. Okay, this is fine, you have explained it. Therefore it will help and will encourage them to stay in village and get better in that. Get better in that means what? Get better in what? Please be clear in the sentences which you say. Additionally, the government can start new schemes in order to encourage the youngsters to venture into agriculture. If this happens, the tradition and culture would not get faded off. This is not required. The only thing we want is to make them stay in the village, not to make a transition from villages to cities. So this is not required. Last sentence. Whereas your first point is okay, this is fully developed, that their problems will be solved, so they will stay in the village. No need to write and get better in that, since the reader does not know get better in what. So additionally, government can start new schemes in order to encourage youngsters to venture into agriculture. Like, give examples here. Examples are missing. Should give example here. In conclusion, providing sufficient support by the government, not providing, receiving. If you say providing, in conclusion, the government should provide sufficient support, or receiving sufficient support, because support is received. So this is incorrect collocation. Sufficient support from the government to the agriculture people to stay in village will save farming as well as their traditions. Now, this sentence, receiving sufficient support from government will help agricultural, or you can say will help farmers, will help or will encourage farmers to stay in village, thus saving the farming as well as the traditions. So in conclusion, receiving sufficient support from the government will help or encourage farmers to stay in village, comma, thus saving farming as well as the traditions. Now let's talk about the marking part. Here I have the criteria. Now I'll show you that how marking can be done yourself using this criteria. See, here the task response bands will reduce. Why? Because the thesis statement does not answer both the questions. So here means the topic or the ideas which you want to explain afterwards, they are unclear. Here, as I told you before, there is some straying away from the topic, which means that it lacks focus. It is not focused on a single point, but it is divided into 2 points. So it lacks focus here. Here, this solution has to be more developed with some examples. What exactly do you want to tell the reader here? So this is not fully developed. So for task response, it would get a 6.5. Why? I'll show you why it will get a 6.5. See, in 6, it addresses all part of the task, though some parts may be more fully covered than others. Here, this part is fully covered, but then it strays away. It lacks focus. Means this one is also fully covered. The first part is also fully covered. Then presents a relevant position throughout the conclusions, although the conclusion may become unclear or repetitive. Presents relevant main ideas, but some may be inadequately developed or unclear. So this is an example of an unclear idea. In not mentioning the answers of both the questions or whatever is the prompt in writing task 2 in the thesis statement. This is presents, extends and support main ideas, but there may be tendency to overgeneralize and supporting ideas may lack focus. So this is an example of lacking focus. This is the main idea, these are the supporting ideas, and this is lacking focus. It is not focusing on a single idea, but it is going in different direction. So it lacks focus. So a 6.5 in task response. Now coming to the lexical resource, that is the vocabulary part. Now let's have a look. What are the main points between band 6, 7 and 8? Now in band 6, adequate range of vocabulary for task attempts to use less common vocabulary but with some inaccuracy, make some error in spelling. Okay. Range of vocabulary, less common vocabulary, occasional errors in word choice. This is band 7. Now let's have a look here. This is the error in word formation or collocation, you can say. This is again an error in word formation. This is again an error in word formation or word choice. This is repetition, affecting, affected, villages, village, village. You may use agricultural areas or farming areas. Means this is what you have to realize, that when you check your essay, there should be no repetition. This is the thing that you can control at least. Then okay, so these are the mistakes in vocabulary, and moreover, uncommon and wide range of vocabulary is not used. You may call it a bit sufficient range of vocabulary, but since the words, the collocation and the word formation at many places, and there is repetition also twice, so means that there is some lack of sufficient vocabulary in the writer's mind. Means there should be more range of vocabulary that has to be used in the essay. So it will again come to a 6 only. Why 6? Because it is satisfying the criteria for 6 only. Adequate range is used, less common is used, but only somewhere, like productivity, profitability, ancient period, migrated, so venture. So these words, they are of course good words, but they are okay, adequate for this task. Attempts to use less common vocabulary but with some inaccuracy, make some errors in spelling or word formation, but they do not impede communication. I am able to understand, but still these errors are there. These errors are there. So hence a 6 in lexical resource.